Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcast.
We're sisters
And super fans
who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a new mom, and an entrepreneur. I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. So Malika, I had a revelation this morning.
Ooh, tell me.
I've been interested in yoga, and I've been wanting to do yoga. I have done yoga a few times, but I've never been able to do it consistently. And this is your year of the yogi, and you're talking about it as though it's amazing. I wanted to explore it. There was a barrier, and I couldn't figure out what the barrier was. And I just figured it out today. And the barrier is that I don't want to get on the floor. I just don't. I don't want to get on the floor. That feels like a hurdle. I have to get a mat. The space is going to be clean. When I do get on the floor, my dog then wants to bother me. He thinks we're playing. It's a whole thing. And so once I realized that I don't want to get on the floor, it occurred to me that there's probably all kinds of standing yoga videos and exercises and practices out there that I could explore. And then I did.
And how was that? How was doing the standing yoga?
It was really good. It felt so much easier. The poses are still challenging. I still get the stretch. I felt good after, but it didn't feel like as much labor somehow.
So interesting.
That was a revelation to me. And Gretchen says, identify the problem.
Yeah.
And that's half the battle.
Yeah. What's funny to me is that I will intentionally filter search for yoga videos that are on the floor. I don't want to stand. I want to do everything lying down. And I do both, but everybody has their different preferences. It's so great that there's something for everybody.
Yeah. Thank goodness for YouTube and all the amazing people who put videos out for all different scenarios. I'm excited to incorporate more of that now into my workout.
There's a fun yoga for on the plane that I'll share with you. And one for yoga in the airport, either seated or standing, but maybe those could help you in your travels.
That's next level.
You're not ready to touch in the airport?
I don't know. I think I'll leave that to the yogi.
Okay. All right.
I'll stick to the massage chair.
Okay.
That's my yoga.
Azizi, what happened on Happier recently?
On Happier, episode 470, Gretchen and Liz celebrated their 9th anniversary, and they did this by looking back at impactful try this at homes, hacks, and other moments from the past year.
Yeah, there were so many great hacks that I didn't realize they were all from this year. They just have been solidified as good tips. One of the ones they focused on was the look around before you leave hack.
That's right.
And that one I totally use all of the time whenever I'm at a coffee shop or anywhere. I make a point to turn around and look back. And I realized that I use this when I'm at a public place. But lately, I've been forgetting things at home a lot. When I'm going to leave,
Welcome to motherhood.
Going somewhere to a coffee shop, for instance, and then I get there and I realized I didn't bring my laptop charger, which I had specifically set out so I wouldn't forget it. But the moment of getting out the door is chaotic or whatever. So I think I need to integrate this policy at home. And especially before trips, I'll have a packing list. And then there's things that I put out to make sure I don't forget. And then they're in like a different part of the house or something. Halfway to the airport, I'm like, oh, I didn't bring the sweater that I was going to wear today.
That's the worst feeling.
Take a moment before you leave the house to make sure you have everything with you that you want. That's my hack.
That's a great idea. And specifically for you, go back to your bedroom.
Yeah.
Look there. Gretchen created a bingo. Are you a podcast superfan bingo? And I thought, Malika, we could review this and see, can we actually call ourselves superfans?
Okay.
I went to the website, and by the way, the website is beautiful. Shout out to Gretchen for all of the work that she has put into this site. It's beautiful, it's easy to navigate, and there are so many resources, so many fun resources on there. This is just one of them. Gold star. What are some things that you have done on the card, Malika?
I've done a handful of things. Unfortunately, they do not make bingo on the card in their locations, but here we go. So I've used packing cubes.
All right.
I've used a bandolier for my phone. It's not a bandolier, it's a knockoff brand, but I got the idea from Liz and Gretchen. I have made a to-do list. Love doing that. I call it a to-done list, but it's the same thing. I have subscribed to the 5 Things newsletter. I have celebrated a minor holiday. I have asked someone, what would you do if you were in my situation? That is such a good question, particularly for customer service interactions that aren't going well. That's really helped a lot. I don't know if I've started it, but I'm definitely on the family text thread where we send pictures and updates. And I have absolutely used the 4 tendencies framework with family or coworkers. And I've recommended the Happier podcast, obviously. Here we are with a spin-off podcast all about happier in Hollywood. And I've actually assigned it to clients, but I need to make sure I've actually rated and reviewed. So today that will happen.
I laugh because I haven't either. We are fake fans. How is this
Oh my
possible?
goodness.
We must do this today.
This is really embarrassing.
Very embarrassing. Today we will do this.
All right. What about you, Azizi? Where are you on the bingo card?
So I think I've done all of those things except for the packing cubes. That seems like a lot of work and I'm not interested. So I'm not going to do that.
What's the barrier with the packing cubes?
Well, we can unpack that later. So I'm going to get back to the card. I have definitely stored something at the store. I think I've talked about taking a picture and knowing it's safe at the store and I can have it later. I have set an alarm as a bedtime reminder and I actually use the Happier app to do that. So I get a nice little reminder that it's time to start winding down. Definitely stopped reading a book that I didn't enjoy. I have laughed at the thought of the pet egg. I've received a similar gift, not a pet egg, but I'll get into that another time also. Something similar that was like, what are you trying to tell me here? I went on an errand date with someone. My husband and I went to Costco. I don't think we'll do that again, but we did do it. It's a date. And I became a minor expert in something. Somehow I am now a minor expert in Disneyland. You can ask me anything and I will tell you. So those are some of the things that I've done. Now, I think I've done a total of 14. I think that's pretty good, right?
You're a super fan.
Yeah, I am. And so are you, Malika. You're a super fan. How fun, though. I love all the resources. I'm going to dig back into them. Maybe we can do some of the other bingos and quizzes that she has there. So, Malika, what happened in Happier in Hollywood?
On Happier in Hollywood, episode 354, Liz and Sarah discussed why it's valuable to listen to someone else's pitch. Sarah gives an update on her happiness project. They share a tool to support shared writing, and Sarah offers a credit card hack to reduce spending. I really appreciated their conversation about listening to a pitch because they're always doing pitches. And after being involved in a project where they're listening, realize there's so many benefits that you get from being in that different position. And I think that's true with anything you're involved with deeply, is if you can see it from a different perspective, that it can really open your eyes. And I can remember times when I was involved with a project from the casting side, working on a play or something, or even a short film. Usually I'm an actor, but the few times when I've been in the casting position, it's just been a revelation. And there's so many things you take for granted as an actor, and you're focusing on yourself and what do they think about me? And it's very easy to take it personally if you don't get cast. And then I think the first time I was on the other side of the table, you realize, oh my gosh, there's such great actors, but they're just not right for this project. And there's just all these other things that you're considering. And so that definitely gave me a better appreciation as an actor. I think that's probably the main thing that I learned from it, is sometimes you're really just not right. It has nothing to do with you. And that was a huge weight off my shoulders for auditioning. Totally changed my perspective on auditioning in general.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely helpful to be in a different aspect of the same type of project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Have you had an experience like that, Azizi?
I actually have. It didn't come to me right away because my field is completely different, but I did have an experience recently where I was on an accreditation team, and in the independent school world, to be accredited in California, every so many years, you have to go through an evaluation process that's quite comprehensive and in depth, and you create a whole self-study. And then a team of educators from other independent schools evaluate your program. And basically they're looking to see, are you acting in according to your mission? And are you following other best practices for being a school and being a quality school? And so that process of digging deep into someone else's school and not mine, and looking at how they speak about themselves and their program and traditions, and you speak with the teachers and the parents and students, it's a fantastic process. And of course, I came away thinking about my own program, my own school. How would we answer these questions? What are some of the things that we do? And I just have an appreciation for a school's mission and for living out your values through your school and how it impacts all your different constituents. So I have been in that position and I definitely would recommend it.
With doing that, was that something that you were looking forward to, evaluating another school, or did it feel like, why do I have to do this?
I can't say I was looking forward to it. It is a lot of work in a very short amount of time. So it's about 3 days and it's an intense process. And you're working with people that you don't work with, or you may not even know. A few of them I've met for the first time. And over the course of 3 or 4 days, you have to read a lot of material, talk to a lot of people, and then you have to generate a report and give recommendations that are meaningful and thoughtful based on what you learned. So the work and the writing in particular were things that I was not looking forward to. But actually, I came away reminded of how valuable the process is for everyone involved. I hope it was valuable for the school who went through it. It's very nerve-wracking. I've been on the other side as well, and it's nerve-wracking to have these people come in and kick the tires, so to speak. But after this experience, I believe in the process and feel like, oh, every educator should go through this process. So yes, I agree that it's important to be on the other side, and it's important to play a different role than you usually do in your industry.
Yeah, that's cool.
And now let's take a break. And when we get back, Malika will share something that's feeding her soul.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
Adobe Acrobat Studio, so brand new. Show me all the things PDFs can do. Do your work with ease and speed. PDF Spaces is all you need. Do hours of research in an instant with key insights from an AI assistant. Pick a template with a click. Now your prezzo looks super slick. Close that deal? Yeah, you won. Do that, doing that, did that, done. Now you can do that with Acrobat. Now you can do that with the all-new Acrobat. It's time to do your best work with the all-new Adobe Acrobat Studio.
Welcome back. Now it's time for our segment, Take a Breath, where we share something that's feeding our soul. I recently started watching the second season of Life and Beth on Hulu, which is a show created by Amy Schumer that I highly recommend. And in one of the episodes, Amy Sedaris pops up as a guest star. Now, whenever Amy Sedaris is in a show, she is so on brand as herself. And I guess without having met her, I don't know if it's herself. It's a particular character, but it's consistent from show to show over the years.
Remember her in Elf?
Wait, who is she now?
She was the secretary in Elf. You may miss it.
Same character, always the same. It's like quirky, punchy, kind of unapologetic. And there's something that I find so exciting and refreshing about her persona. So I was watching this episode at lunchtime and I just texted myself Amy Sedaris energy because I can use that sometime for myself. Like I can go into a situation with that particular persona. And then I realized there are probably others out there for me. So I want to start keeping track of them somewhere. And that is my suggestion, just to pay attention to the personas that spark something for you and try them on when you want to. So pick a persona. I think it's feeding my soul because it feels expansive, easy to feel like you're limited by your own characteristic. And so having this persona to kind of try on or play with is like an avenue into other parts of myself that can be used at will.
Yes.
Azizi, have you ever channeled a celebrity persona?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. It's funny because Gretchen says the opposite of truth is also true. So sometimes it's good to be yourself, and sometimes it's good to not be yourself, to be someone else. So there are certain circumstances where either maybe you don't want to do the thing that you absolutely have to do, or you're really dreading it, or you just need to channel something that you just don't have. And so for me, I have found it extremely useful to have a character in mind to kind of draw from or to pretend to be in that moment. And one that I return to often is Leslie Knope from Parks and Recs, especially her in the town hall meetings. If you've ever seen the show, it's hilarious that there's all these random things that happen. They're usually challenging situations or tough things that she's got to get through and explain. And she does it always with optimism and with empathy and with a we can do this attitude. And that has been really helpful for me when I'm in situations that are challenging or tough. Some others that I have drawn on over time is Martha Stewart, like those very shrewd bosses. They know what they want and they have vision. And Martha Stewart is one. Kamala Harris is one I'm thinking about now. And sometimes I need to be Oprah. I need to be listening. I need to ask good questions. I need to hold the space. And so sometimes that's been helpful to me to think about Oprah, but it's been really helpful to me. And now that you presented it this way, Malika, is collecting them, I want to make a list and I want to keep the list in mind. And it's making me want to watch some new shows, maybe or read some new books. Like someone recommended, I think it's called The Equalizer to me with Queen Latifah. And I've seen some clips of it. She seems like a really tough kind of go get it person. And maybe that could be a persona if I were to watch it. So it's inspiring me to want to collect more fiction, more examples.
Yeah, I think I've used Oprah before. She's got a lot going for her, obviously.
Who hasn't used Oprah? Really?
Who hasn't?
Who hasn't used Oprah at some point?
I'm reminded of the interview that she did with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle.
I didn't see it.
Oh my goodness. This is a deep cut. It's not that long ago, but I was so blown away by her listening and her ability to ask questions. It was just like, oh my gosh, this woman is an expert interviewer. And it felt like someone in their craft. The things that she was able to draw out and the way she did it, everybody needs to watch the way this person listens, because most of the time people don't really listen. And often in interviews like that, you can tell that the interviewer has an agenda or that they're getting at something.
Malika, listening is a whole thing that we could get into. Listening is really hard to do. And I've been thinking a lot about how to listen. So we'll revisit that another time. But Malika, could Gretchen be a persona?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Someone who is curious and who is constantly wanting to better themselves and to support others. I don't know. There's something there.
I feel like the Gretchen persona, what comes up for me is, I guess, the upholder energy of just getting things done that you want to do and moving onward and upward.
Onward and upward. I do have the shirt Onward and Upward, and I do wear it strategically when I have to. I do. Even if I have a sweater over it, no one knows I'm wearing it. It's powerful. It's like, I'm going to do the things. I'm going to do the things. So I definitely have channeled that energy.
What if buying a new appliance felt like a win for your home and your wallet? Save up to 50%, plus up to an extra $600 on select major appliances at the Best Buy Appliances Labor Day sale. Learn more at bestbuy.com. Best Buy. Imagine that.
So now we're going to check in on our Happiness Project Revisited. And the theme this month was energy for February. We are almost done, but still in it, a little bit left to go. So Malika, how did you do this month?
I didn't do the way that I wanted to do. I feel like I never really got off the ground, and we talked about it, which was helpful. I think my sicknesses got in the way, and looking back, I realized my resolutions were not well designed. I had a lot of ideas, and I had some one-off things. I did schedule a spa day, and then later I realized that I was double booked that day, so I had to cancel it.
Yeah.
I learned that I do want to do something with my feet in the evening routine. That was a part of my focus. It's very specific, but one of my ideas was to really refine my morning and evening routines. And I was kind of thinking about them or paying attention, but I never scheduled time to actually consider them, to write them down and break them down.
Yeah.
I think I need to put that on the calendar. And there's still a little bit of time left. So maybe I can do that this week. Just write down morning routine, evening routine. And I'd like to come up with tiered options. So on the mornings when I don't have a lot of time, what are the things I want to do when I have a whole hour to myself? What will I do then? And same for the evenings. I did not create a manifesto, but I have been thinking about it. And one element that I learned was, so Norm and I are doing this together, having a default of no sweets except for dark chocolate. You can have dark chocolate. And then giving ourselves a pass when we're on vacation. So that happened over the past weekend and it was fun. We didn't go overboard, but it did make it feel like a treat. And then it was easy to transition to no sweets again. So there was like learnings as I'm talking. I feel better.
Good. Yeah. There's a lot of ideas there and some things tried.
I wouldn't say because of what I tried this month, I have more energy than I did last month. I didn't get to the point of clarity to really be able to track what was going on. So next month, I would like to simplify a little bit more and just pick one resolution that I can actually track from week to week.
Yes. One or two. Narrowing it down is going to be important. But you did a lot and you learned things, right? So that's fantastic. There's a quote that I say all the time, which is, we don't lose, we win or we learn. It's one or the other. You're never losing. If you're either winning or you're learning, you learned.
I am learning. How about you, Azizi? What are your end of the month reflections?
I'll give myself a solid B. I solidified my strength training and I did it about twice a week. I'm still doing my intermittent fasting. I'm pretty regular with that. And I did some research, created a Pinterest board, kind of learning more about it. I didn't hit 8,000 steps a day, but I increased my average steps overall for this month. So I'm going to take that as a win. And I had a realization, which was that I was struggling with remembering the goals and a little bit like you. Maybe there wasn't a moment where I really doubled down on this is what I was going to do. But because I'm writing and using the playbook to kind of track things, and I felt like, oh, I kind of did February already. So I didn't really revisit it every day. So I realized that I needed to transfer and have a way of tracking in my main journal. So I created a monthly grid with each month of the year and put the theme and a space where I'm going to actually put down what are my goals for that month. Because then I can actually, on a daily basis, as I'm looking through my journal and writing and reviewing all of my other things, I will also review my goals for this happiness project. So that was a realization that I had about how to track it and where to track it. And that will help me stay focused. And then the other thing I realized was I thought in my head I was done with everything on the platform in February. And I revisited it and I realized, oh, there's a lot here that I haven't done yet. There's so many good resources and tips and suggestions. And so I started digging into them and I got re-energized again. So I'm going to end February strong, and I'm actually looking forward to the live session.
That's great, Azizi. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Again, the resources that Gretchen has, they're helpful. I was reading today about the personal commandments and that process and what to look for, how to do that. I'm looking forward to continuing to read some of the articles. And also, I'll dig into the community comments.
I think your observation about keeping the goals top of mind is important for me too. I think once I figure out my resolution for March, I need to put it on my weekly schedule because that is something that I reference almost every day. So I think I could go further with just having reminders of what it is that I'm focusing on.
Yeah, if it's not visible, then it doesn't exist in a way. We're not going to prioritize it. So that's the hurdle, is just figuring out where to put it so that it's visible.
All right. In a moment, we'll discuss peaks and valleys. But first, a quick break. All right, now it's time for peaks and valleys, because in life, there are always peaks and valleys. Today is an even episode, so Azizi will begin with a peek.
My peak is that I attended my Weight Watchers meeting, WW virtual meeting, even though I had a conflict during the regularly scheduled time. So first of all, just a peek to the Weight Watchers virtual meetings. I'm Weight Watchers for life. My mom has done it for life and it just works for me. I really value it. And they've started offering virtual meetings every day at various times. So you can drop in at any time and there's probably a coach who's offering a meeting, and that flexibility has been fantastic. I found a coach, Coach Jocelyn, that I really like to follow. And I had a particular time where I would always participate in her meetings. But then I found that if I had something scheduled during that time, or if I had to do work thing, I would just not attend the meeting. It just wouldn't happen. And so I made it a point to find another time when I can attend the meeting, because I know that it's so important for me and just my general health to participate. So I'm giving myself a peek for that. I actually attended it. A peek for Coach Jocelyn also, who does a fantastic job at hosting the meetings every week.
What do you like about her style?
She's just very approachable. She's also an educator. I believe she teaches community college. She's very approachable and she's masterful at facilitating the Zoom meeting, which is not easy to do when there's upwards of 100 people participating in the meeting and they encourage you to share, but also she's got to move it along. She's got to connect it to what the theme is for the week and make everyone feel like they're in the space together. And she does a really good job of that. But there's a ton out there. And I've tried others that are also great, but she's one that I return to. What's your valley, Malika?
My valley is for this winter weather. It is not snowy enough. This is a very petty valley and out of our control, but we had one real snowstorm and then there was another one that we were gearing up for and made sure to have somebody that was going to help us plow the driveway.
Wow.
And we thought we were going to get a snow day at work and then it was nothing, like 0.25 inches. It was a huge letdown. It snowed in other parts, but we were on the edge of this big storm. And so it was nothing. And now it's still cold, but it's starting to feel like, is spring coming already? And I just feel a little bit shortchanged. You only had the winter wonderland experience for a few days. So I just feel all kinds of conflicted feelings because on the one hand, it is the snow brings more challenges in terms of getting out of the driveway and there's some drudgery associated. But also now that I'm living in this seasonal climate, I want each season and I want it hardcore. And I just feel like this winter is a little weak sauce.
Malika, who are you? Who are you? You bought your first snow shovel like 2 years ago and now you're like, can't wait to have more snow. That sounds bananas to me. That sounds bananas.
I think it has everything to do with expectations and adjusting them and not having them met by the weather, which is, again, the very tricky game. You're kind of bracing yourself for something and it doesn't happen. And then it feels like a letdown somehow.
Well, the spring will be beautiful. I'm sure that will make up for the lack of snow, maybe. Is that how that works? I don't know anything about seasons, so.
I know. We kind of have to go through a muddy, rainy period. I think that's what's going to come next.
Yikes. All right. Well, enjoy that. You're welcome.
Well, that brings us to the end. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. What are you going to try this week?
Malika, I have to rate and review Happier and Happier in Hollywood. That's what I'm going to do today. Malika, what are you going to do?
Yeah, the same thing. I got to do it as soon as we're done recording. Thank you for listening to this episode. If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend, and follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com and tell us something you liked about Happier and Happier in Hollywood this week.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
And we also want to give a special shout out to Gretchen Rubin, Liz Kraft, and Sarah Fain for inspiring our conversation each week.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com, where you can find our show notes. All right, Azizi. Have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Malika.
Bye.
Bye.
If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend. We're not hypocrites.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.